So page 43 in your composition book, here's the setup for today. Procrastination is wisdom. Who, not how. So first things first. How many of you procrastinate? Wow. Okay, I'm seeing at least half the hands. Who can explain to us what procrastination is to you? What does it look like for you?
What does it look like?
Yeah, when you procrastinate, what happens?
I get stressed. I just start working on everything last minute and stuff. And not even that, it's not like, it's more like I don't do work. So it's like the date already passed, the due date already passed, and we're still working.
Okay, so, and I'm going to try to summarize. I'm going to say kind of what Natalia said. So I think Natalia is saying, so look, I think procrastination is, and you check me if this is what you believe it is, right? I think procrastination is where we're supposed to be doing something, we as humans, we're supposed to be doing something and or it's due, and we can't seem to get to it. We kind of do everything except that item. We find all kinds of excuses not to do it. Does this sound, when you guys said, yeah, I procrastinate, is that what you're thinking? And tell me if you're thinking differently, just so you can get me on the same page with you. Okay. So that's what I think procrastination is. So you mentioned things right in there that there's stress. Is the stress because you're not done, Natalia?
Well, the stress is because, like, no matter how hard I try to do my work, I just can't.
It's like a wall, right? It's very difficult. Did you see how many hands went up when I said how many of you procrastinate? Right? And probably and a lot of times people don't raise their hand, right? A lot of you don't want to raise your hand. That's fine. So if half of you raise your hand, it's a lot of us that procrastinate. I say us, right? I think procrastination is something in our society that's kind of like a secret struggle of almost all of us. We all have it. We all do it on some level with something. And yet we don't like to share it sometimes because I feel like sometimes it's labeled as, oh, I feel lazy, or there's some sort of shame involved with it, where I can't get the work done, so I feel ashamed type thing, where I don't want to tell everybody how much I procrastinated. Does this make any sense? Does anybody, like, give me a small nod if you go yes or no, I guess. Okay, so I'm getting some in on that. Okay, so it's like this secret sin of society that we all do, right? It's this procrastination thing. And in the end, all it is us not being able to get to our work. And the weird thing is you guys are younger, right? So you're at a place where you're like, well, maybe procrastination is because I'm younger. I'm older, and I can tell you, everybody I know, all ages procrastinates. It is a universal human issue. Okay. So with that said, that we all do it, right? And it's I would say a very common, and I don't know if problem is even what I want to say about it, because if what the context of this is, so there's a guy named Dan Sullivan. He's written a bunch of books. He pioneered one of the ideas that he calls a unique ability. You'll hear me talk about that with you a lot, where I'm talking about what are you great at, right? One of his things he talks about is this idea that procrastination is wisdom. Okay, wisdom, go like this if wisdom is good or wisdom is bad. What do you say? Right? Wisdom is good. So he's now taking something that we're all sort of doing and not happy about, and he's saying, wait a second, procrastination isn't bad. Procrastination is wisdom. Why does he say this? So he says this because if there's something you don't want to do, it's probably not you that should be doing it. It's probably something you're not necessarily good at. It's probably something you're not having fun with, right? And so now he's back on his idea of unique ability is when you find what you're great at, and you're great at, first of all, everybody's great at and unique ability is infinitely different, right? So when you find yours, there's no competitor out there. You're alone. You're in your own class. Nobody can compete with you on that item. Are you with me? So that's the cool part about unique ability. We each have one. Nobody's without one. Right? So everybody has one. It's what you're good at. It's what you love. When you're doing it, you're happy. Right? And oftentimes, if you can figure it out in our society, it's what you're going to get paid more money to do than just about anything else. Because if you're really good at it and you love it, you're probably going to get paid well for it. Are you with me on all this? Okay, so the unique ability is rock kind of thing, right? And you're looking for this in your life. Now it's back to this. Procrastination being wisdom is telling you that for that item and that area and that subject, it's not your unique ability. You with me? So he's saying, why are we, right, beating ourselves up because we can't get to these items? It really means we shouldn't be doing it. And then I'm going to talk about this in a minute because here's a solution. Everybody say, who, not how. Yeah, who, not how. So his solution, and it's he's putting it into 3 words, so you can't get too much into that, right? But what he's trying to say is, whatever you're working on right now, you probably shouldn't be doing. And this is going to sound terrible because this is going to be some of your classwork, right? For other teachers and or my class, right? He's saying for that item, you should go, it's not a how issue. It's not that you don't know how to do it. It's that you should be getting somebody else to do it who likes it better. It's a little bit dicey if you're talking about your homework. Are you with me? A little bit dicey if you're talking about some things in school where, and part of that is, part of me questions that part of school, right? Part of me questions why almost our entire system is based on you sitting alone in a chair and taking a test all by yourself. When we know humans don't do so well by themselves. Humans do well in groups. We're collaborative, right? We think better in a team, almost always, right? Almost always. There's some exceptions to that, I'll give you that, right? So why is it that you're being made to do that work that you procrastinate on, right? And can you find a solution? And I want to be a little careful here with your homework, right? I want to be a little bit careful about this concept because I'm in a system where we make you do homework or whatever we make you do, right? I'm a part of this system too, right? But the idea being that if you are procrastinating, it's really a wisdom and you should go find somebody else to do that job or that work or that item or that thing, okay? And part of me is just giving you an idea, right, to shake up your brain because it took me a long time in my life. My wife and I both. My wife's a notorious procrastinator. Me too. I can't get to stuff. And I feel bad about it. I've beaten myself up a lot in my life over this problem, right, of procrastination. And maybe this could save you from beating yourself up, right? Maybe you can let yourself off the hook and think of a different way. Okay, so here's your assignment. On page 43, you're going to write about your procrastination habits, and if you don't want to make it personal, then just write about procrastination habits, right? Make it generic. It doesn't have to be your, okay? You can just say procrastination habits. Could it be that your procrastination is wisdom? Are you willing to consider this, right? That actually your procrastination is a good thing. Could you find others to do these activities instead of yourself? Think through what you don't want to do most, and just think to yourself, could I find somebody else to do it? And that way it's between you and your paper, and it doesn't have to involve me, and if it's homework, I don't have to know, right? That you're finding somebody else to do it. Okay, take like 4 or 5 minutes and do that.